Hello, good morning, everybody. So it is time for the Tucker Tuesday training. I am Coach Katie Tucker, and thank you so much for joining me today. So today we are going to talk all about carbs because I know that this is like a challenging food group, basically. I want to say topic, but really it's like a food group. And we have been trained to believe that we cannot eat carbs while being healthy or losing weight. And really, it's not the case, first of all. And I don't want you to feel the feelings that happen when you cut out carbs. So if you are excited about today's topic, let me know in the comments. Say good morning. Let me know where you're joining me live from. Thank you so much for giving me your time and giving yourself this time to hear about this topic. So if you are fired up, maybe drop me some fire emojis, or maybe you want to use the emojis of all the different carbs you like, or the carbs that you know are healthy, because I know there's a whole lot of carb emojis in the phone. So you could drop some of those, anything, just letting me know that you are here and joining me live, and I'm not just, spouting to nobody. All right, so let's get going, guys, because I promise I'm trying to keep, I'm working on cutting down our live trainings to make them more manageable for you to be able to absorb and watch and learn from and not feel stressed by them. So I'm trying to get them to get shorter and shorter. So I'm working on it. Okay, so here's the first thing. We don't want to cut carbs too low, okay? I want you to think of any further steps that you take with carbs as switching or substituting carbs, okay? We're going to keep eating carbs, but we're going to switch and substitute the kinds of carbs we're eating. There's a possibility that you may not need as many carbs as you're currently eating, but I wouldn't work on the portion quite yet. More about getting the right kinds of carbs in. Enough. Think of it as enough. I want to eat enough of the right carbs, okay? Versus like, I'm not going to eat any carbs. So today we're talking about getting enough of the smart carbs, as I call them, okay? The other carbs, those are the sugars, and those are a little bit more of like the enemy than carbs in general, okay? Our sugar is not going to do great things for our body, and we know that. And I could talk about that all one day, but don't worry, we won't really go into sugar so much today. We're just going to talk about what you are supposed to be eating, okay? So we're talking about switching and substituting the carbs you may be eating now for the smart carbs that we do need. So even if you have hormonal or metabolic issues, maybe you have hypothyroidism, PCOS, or problems like regulating blood sugar. So even especially is a better way to say, especially if you have these issues, smart carbs are still a really valuable part of most people's diets, okay? Very, very few women feel and perform their best on low carb diets, okay? Cutting carbs too low, and especially for too long, you're gonna have no energy. You're just gonna be like that lay like a vegetable on the couch kind of moment. You're gonna have no energy. You're gonna feel deprived. You're gonna be anxious. Probably gonna be pretty angry about life, right? You're gonna find yourself like speed eating a bag of Oreos. Like after like a week or something, you're gonna crack. Like we can't help it because we're not built to not eat any carbs. It's a whole food group, guys. So I do not think you should ever be on a diet that cuts out an entire food group. Okay. Now we did mention sugar. Sugar is not a food group. All right. So we can eat healthy sugars and low glycemic index, foods that contain sugar, like fruit. Fruit is our healthy sugar. Okay. So we can be having that. But I do not promote you eating, just cutting something out. So we're not cutting out carbs. Okay. Also, if you do end up cutting carbs too low for too long, you're going to end up with like really weird hormone stuff going on, and you might like start missing your periods, or you might have diminished fertility. And when these things happen, we know our body's not functioning optimally, right? And that is not what we want. We want to be thriving, right? Let me know if this is making sense to you so far. Let me know that you guys are here. Drop me some comments in the comments. I hope I'm going live in my journeyer group in the right place. Okay, so when you get enough, we're talking about eating enough of the right kinds of carbs, the smart carbs, you're gonna feel full of energy, like zest and vitality and peppy, okay? You're going to feel calm and relaxed, and you're going to sleep better. And I know you guys all need to sleep better because you've told me. You told me when you joined that you guys really are struggling with sleeping. So getting the right kinds of carbs are really going to help you with sleep as well. You're really not going to have as many sugar cravings, or they're at least going to not be as strong, okay? And you're going to have happy hormones. Yay, happy balanced hormones. And you're going to feel good in the gym, on the field, like at work, at home, in your life. Oh, hey, Curtis. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. So we're talking about switching or substituting the carbs we may be eating for the smart carbs, and definitely not cutting carbs too low, okay? So I want you to think of things kind of like as an experiment, all right? So after this little training here, you're going to go out into the world, or maybe you're not going to go out in the world. Maybe you're going to stay safe in your house, and you're going to venture into your kitchen or online to order some things. And you are going to start substituting and experimenting with swapping carbs, not panicking about cutting them out today, all right? Okay. So the 5 not thought of, kind of underappreciated smart carbs that I want you to start thinking about including and incorporating into your diet are going to be beans and legumes, okay? They are so underappreciated, my word. Beans and legumes, those are some smart carbs. Sweet potatoes, all potatoes, you can have all potatoes. Ancient grains, sprouted grains, and steel-cut oats, okay? So if anybody wants to put those in the comments, that's kind of like the broad list. I'm going to give you really specifics today, but the broad list are beans and legumes, potatoes, ancient grains, sprouted grains, and steel-cut oats. These are our 5. All right? And then within those 5, there's like a million things you could be eating, okay? So this category is the beans and legumes. Let's start with beans and legumes. So this category, we're talking about like lentils, green beans, black beans, kidney beans, garbanzo beans. Those are chickpeas. Hummus is made from chickpeas, right? Navy beans, black beans. I said black beans because black beans are like one of my staples. Black-eyed peas, or they're also called cow peas. Sometimes that's like a traditional like New Year's side dish. Lima beans or fava beans. There's so many beans, okay? So that's just a little bit of the beans that are out there. There's not like every single bean, but those are definitely a high protein packed smart carb option here. Oh, thanks guys for putting things on this list. Awesome. Thank you, Terry. Good morning. Oh, you guys love garlic hummus. Oh yeah. Oh my, I love every kind of hummus. They're all good. So like we're going to include these things. Yay. So just try any that sound interesting to you. If I listed anything that sounded interesting, start including those, okay? Or if you're like, yeah, I already eat those things. So we're talking about not having our sugary breads and donuts and Oreos and cookies and things, and having these things instead. All right, we're not just eliminating. We don't want to just eliminate stuff. We want to replace, okay? Because when you just eliminate, you panic and you freak out and you get upset and you crack. And if you lost any weight doing it that way, yes, because you cut out the sugary stuff, but you didn't do it in a way that's going to sustain you long term. That's why I always talk about like a sustainable lifestyle. And it's sustainable for you. It's great if it's sustainable for the planet and the world too. But I want you guys to know and be happy and feel like what you're doing, you can do forever. So I never want you to like go ahead and start something which I know a lot of times when we start stuff, we cut stuff out. So I don't want you to think of cutting it out. I want you to think of swapping and replacing. And do it in a way that you get to experiment with something that you think you could do forever. Okay? Don't pick stuff that you're like, there's no way I could eat like this normally. I'm only going to do it while on this diet for 2 weeks. Then that's not sustainable, right? And then you're most likely going to stop the diet, and then you're going to gain it back, and then you're going to be upset again. So my goal is to help you, lose weight, get healthy, get all your health numbers, all your blood work under control, feel awesome, sleep well, wake up excited, all the good stuff, okay? And you can do that while eating all these carbs I'm going to talk about. Okay, so the one thing I want to mention about beans is beans can make you really gassy, right? And I don't want you guys to have a lot of stomach upset stuff. So when you always want to rinse your beans, okay? Whether they're dry beans or canned beans, rinse them. Get all that stuff off and out of them. Soak them if they're dry. Do the whole soaking thing to help reduce gas and bloat. And if you haven't been including beans in your diet, then you may want to start including them slowly. Anything you do that's brand new and high in fiber, we want a lot of high fiber foods. So a lot of the stuff I'm talking about is really high in fiber, really nutrient dense, and generally adds an extra serving of protein-packed goodness. High fiber stuff is going to make you gassy if you are not used to it, okay? It will take a week or two to have your body kind of regulate what's going on with that gas. So I just don't want you to panic. And also know that if you get gassy from a certain bean, it doesn't mean that's going to happen for all beans. It might just be that one that you tried. Or you just ate like 5 cans at once and your body was like, whoa! Can't do that yet. One of the things that I love is bean pastas. So I got to tell you, that first time I tried bean pasta, I made like a big old bowl. And I was like, yes, I get to eat big. I love larger servings than is probably ideal. And it's something I work on, but this was years ago. And the first time I had this bean pasta, was like, oh my God, my stomach, guys. We were like, thank goodness there were several bathrooms. Like, so just know that we want to be having things in the right portions. And if you haven't been having something in your diet before or regularly, you might like a lot of fiber at once can really make you go to the bathroom. Okay. So we should always be having bowel movements here, and we should always feel open in our private group to talk about it, okay? So I hope you all still love me, even though I'm talking about going to the bathroom, all right? Because really, like, these are things that come up. We need to talk about it. We just need to be transparent and open about it. Let me know if that's okay with you, and if it's still okay that we're talking about all the fiber. So they're high. So beans and legumes are really high in fiber. They're a really decent source of protein, and they do taste great. I include them daily. I tend to put them in my salads. I make bean chili, like a 3-bean chili, and then I add like turkey, like a lean protein to that. And I try to add a lot of extra vegetables too, because vegetables are super important. And those also have the right kind of carbs too. We're focusing on more of the other kinds of carbs today, but fruits and vegetables. I was like, what was the other thing I just said? Fruits and vegetables are your other carb sources. And so just know that. Just know that when you're thinking about carbs and how much you're having in a day, that I don't tend to worry about the vegetables. We need vegetables. We need like tons of them. We need like 70% of our plate to be vegetables. We need several cups of vegetables a day. Like 4 to 8 would be like amazing. I know everybody gets like 1. We definitely need a whole lot more vegetables. Don't worry about those as carbs. Nope, don't worry. Just don't worry. Don't worry. They're going to give you fuel and energy like carbs though too. And that's why a lot of people, you'll feel more satisfied when you eat more vegetables. Anyway, the fruit part though, I want you to count your fruits as carbs, okay? They're the right kinds of carbs, all right? I'm not saying don't eat them. Please eat them. Please eat 1 fruit a day at least. the serving size that we are talking about is cupped hands. So I've talked about measuring stuff with your hands before, and a cupped handful, like scoop, that is a serving, but you can have 1 to 2 servings per meal, okay? The timing of this, if you are not active at all and sitting on the couch and just don't have a lot of daily movement or don't exercise, you will need less carbs, okay? So it would be great if you do exercise. Those carbs, that 1 to 2 cup handfuls, can come before your workout or after your workout or on a day that you're working out, all right? If you do not move much and don't work out and have purposeful exercise, then you probably don't need them, okay? So you might be only having carbs in 1 meal a day, right? So that's what I'm saying. We're not cutting them out. We're switching to the right ones, but we also don't need that many if we're not moving, okay? Because it's our fuel and our energy source, and if we're not moving, we don't need a whole lot of energy, you know? You know what I mean? So it is true that the more you move, the more you can have more carbs, but we're still talking about the healthy, smart carbs, okay? So we just went through that first category about beans. Potatoes was the next group. Oh, thanks, everybody. Oh, what kinds of fruit? Berries. Berries tends to be your lower glycemic index fruits, citrus fruits, oranges, grapefruits, the berries. All the deep colors are great, like your strawberries, your blackberries, your blueberries, raspberries. I like pears. I eat pears. I also do clementines because for some reason, I'm just not a big fan of like big oranges, like all the peeling, and I just want all that white stuff off, and I'm just such a baby about it. So I do clementines, and I take all those little strings off. Clementines are like tangerines, that box with the little cutie kid on it. I have those. Let me know if you need more fruit, but that's kind of the idea, just on fruit. Eat fruit. Don't worry. You know what? That's the thing. Don't get too bogged down, guys, on what fruit or like too specific on stuff. You just want to eat fruit. Now, the only thing I will say is that bananas are constipating. Going back to the bathroom again. They're very constipating, and they are not your lower glycemic ones, all right? We do not need to eat a banana every day. They are high in potassium, which can help with cramping. If I ever end up like for days in a row, like every time I move, like something cramps, like I do a squat, every lower body muscle cramps, like then I will eat a banana every day for like 3 days to help me get the potassium in to stop cramping. But that doesn't normally, that's like very, very rare. Yeah, and then I would buy the little bananas, and you don't have to buy the whole bunch either. Like there's 7 on there, and then you would have to eat one every day, and that's not the fruit we want to eat every day. That's the only thing there. So bananas is the only things that we don't really want to eat every day, okay? Because those big bananas, it sucks, but really you gotta think about it. Like if this is the serving, that's only like a half a banana maybe, right? Anyway. Get upset about that one. Okay, so we talked about beans. We talked a little about fruit. Potatoes. White potatoes, sweet potatoes, red potatoes, golden potatoes. They're all potatoes. They're all good. You should have them. Don't worry about them. Have them. Still this much. Okay, cupped hands. 1 to 2 cupped hands. Then ancient grains. So this is like a big category, okay, because a lot can be done with ancient grains. So, like, think of our ancestors all around the world. They knew how nutritious and potent the traditional grains are. They're much, much healthier and better than our modern grains today, okay? So, ancient grains, amaranth, quinoa, sorghum, teff, wild rice. These are all ancient grains. I think the one that you guys definitely have all heard of is quinoa, right? That one comes in like 3 colors, black, red, and white. And the Incas called it the mother of all grains, and it was like the chief nutrient source there. So it's really high in protein, and it's a grain. So there's no wheat. People don't have like food allergies towards it. It's not going to bloat you, and the protein is like super important. Better to have it than not have it. So it's great when we can pack protein into our grains as well. Yeah, I could talk about that. So we might need like a whole nother day about this stuff too. So you can turn these into side dishes. You can cook them up like porridge. You can grind any of these ancient grains down into like a flour so that you can cook with them like you would white flour. So white flour is definitely not the thing. That's wheat, and that is one of our modern grains, and it's super processed, and they're making it like all crazy now. It's like totally genetically modified. Like it grows like really short and really quick so that they can like produce it. It's not wheat like it used to be, and that's why there's so many food allergies and intolerances towards wheat, I think, nowadays, and especially in America, it's like super bad. So I'm gonna say like our breads and pastas and things that are made with wheat and white flour, those are your high sugar things that we are trying to replace. All right, we're not trying to cut them out, we're trying to replace them. It's all about mindset and framing, guys. All right, let's like get that mindset, put the hat on, that we are making really positive choices that are gonna make you feel better, but you have to try it to feel the better. Okay, so you can grind these things up like a flour and then make like pancakes and muffins and things out of it, okay? So it's not that you can't eat bread and muffins. It's just that what the regular stores are giving you, it's made out of the wheat, the white processed flour. And that's the stuff we want to replace, all right? So you could use toasted buckwheat, millet, whole oats, any of the 3 colored quinoas, teff, amaranth, wild rice, and kamut. That one I haven't looked into yet. But those are ancient grains that you can grind up into flours, and they also sell them like that too. It's not like you have to grind them on your own. You grind it with a coffee grinder though. And then you can bake these things. All right. I have not ventured too far into that yet. I'm just not ready, right? We all take things at our own pace. So I just don't tend to eat muffins and breads and things and pasta. Like I eat the bean pasta that someone already made beans and already turned it into pasta, and I bought it. And I have a few different brands of different kinds of pastas. If you're interested in that, I could share it in the group. Just like remind me. Just shoot this. Someone throw a post up being like, what was the pastas you want or that you love or that you think taste great? And I'll find pictures of the boxes, because I always think the pictures of the boxes are really helpful when you go to the store, right? You're like, Katie said this one, but what does it look like? I'm a visual person in the store. I need to know what to look like. All right. So those were our ancient grains, okay? So sprouted grains was next in our thing. So sprouted grains. Sprouted grains are grains that have been soaked for about like 24 hours, and it allows it to germinate and sprout. And that happens for about a week. So the sprouting process decreases our anti-nutrients. Those are substances that can interfere with absorption in your intestines of the other nutrients. And it decreases gluten and other allergens, which is awesome. It makes grains more digestible. Yay. Because I always need that. I mean, I even have a tough time with brown rice. That's like my body just doesn't want to digest certain things. So it's good to find out what if you have like food intolerances or get a stomach ache from certain things, or like, oh my God, that just hurts. Like my stomach just hurts when I eat that. These are things to replace, okay? And if you have any questions about that, message me. Let me know and I can help you, just because I've had a lot of food intolerances that are not technically allergies. And it took me like 10 to 15 years to really lay it out and figure it out and decide what to do and how to still feel like I'm eating like a normal person. So let me know if you need help there. So we were talking about sprouted grains. So sprouted grains make it more digestible, is what we were just saying. It increases vitamin and mineral content, and it improves the protein quantity. Yay, more protein. And increases the soluble fiber of the grains. And soluble fiber, we want both insoluble and soluble fiber, but we ultimately want fiber, okay? So what research has shown, which is awesome, is that the consumption of sprouted grains can help decrease blood pressure, improve glucose control. That's your sugars, all you diabetics. This helps with glucose control. It decreases cholesterol and triglycerides, improves immune function. Yay, during COVID, we really want to improve immune function, and protects against fatty liver. So there are a lot of great reasons to be exploring and trying little experiments where we're maybe substituting some sprouted grains into our lives. Look for things that say sprouted grain on the package, all right? That's like the gist there. So there's a lot of products that available to try. Food for Life is one brand that I know is great, but like any that you find, go for. A lot of the sprouted grain products are made without preservatives, which is also great. But that means it's going to be in the refrigerated or freezer section of the store, and that is also where you should keep it in your house. Okay. So a lot of times sprouted grain products are going to taste better toasted, all right? Just like gluten-free products taste better toasted. There's like an enzymatic function that happens actually, like, ooh, science, like, so on this enzyme level, that when you toast it, the browning actually brings out better flavors and aromas there, and I just find the texture is better. When it's not wheat, I find the toasted stuff, you're going to like it better, okay? So go for it. You could do it. So like all the gluten-free stuff too, because I do eat some things that are not like whole grain. I just sometimes want like a gluten-free bagel. And those are always better toasted too. So a lot of these things are found in the freezer. That's why they're frozen. I used to get upset that they were frozen until I was like, oh, it's because like they're gonna go bad in a day when they take them out because there are no crap in there. They didn't put any preservatives in there. I'm like, oh, okay. Then I like got okay with like why they're always in the freezer. I am still not okay with why they're smaller than other things. There are some brands like I feel like they're the real size of bread and stuff, but they're just always a little smaller. But I think we all overeat some of these things, so it's okay that they're a little smaller. Okay, so then the next category was steel cut oats. I promise we're getting through it. So steel cut oats, like oatmeal. Okay, so steel cut oats is another awesome, great source of fiber. Yay for fiber. We get in the drift shift here. Fiber and protein. We want things that make things smart. Carbs have fiber and protein, and they are not highly processed, and they don't have white flour in them. Okay? So steel cut oats are a great source of fiber and protein, and it's so much better than like any popular cereal out there. Many folks like maybe not have ever had it or tasted steel cut oats, but whole oat grains, they look a lot like it looks a lot like brown rice, and I have some pictures that I'll share later in the day or this week, maybe throughout the whole week. I'm using a class that I taught for carbs. I have a group program and I have a class on carbs, and I'm using that curriculum that I wrote. So I have a whole lot of pictures. So I'll share some. I'll figure out how to get them in here and into our group, and I'll share them there. Because this next picture I really like. Can you see this picture? So these are all different kinds of oats, and it's really hard to see that. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to share it. It shows you in comparison 4 types of oats from most processed to least processed. So the most processed is number 1, which is instant oats, and you can see what they look like, right? Like that's instant oatmeal kind of thing. Then there's rolled oats. Then number 3 is steel cut oats, And number 4 is whole oat groats, whole oats. And so normally when we're trying to be super healthy, we go for the steel cut oats. I think they cook better than the whole oats. And it's really just chopped. It's like not processed, just chopped up. Makes it steel cut because the steel cuts the oat. Ta-da! And you get steel cut oats. Rolled oats, which was the second most processed one, are steamed, then they're rolled, then they're steamed again, and then they're toasted, and they kind of look like flattened ovals, and there's some, fiber and nutrients and things get kind of lost, and then instant oats, like a lot of stuff gets lost, but if you're switching from some super processed cereal that has no protein and fiber, switching over to oatmeal, any kind of oatmeal, is a step in the right direction. So I always want you guys to be thinking about moving that needle just a little in the right direction, just a little bit better every day. Don't panic about doing all these things at once, okay? So can you do overnight oats with steel cut? Yeah, yep. There's a lot of recipes for overnight oats. Overnight oats, guys, they're different recipes. You put a bunch of things together kind of layered in a container and you put it in the fridge and then it's ready in the morning. Pinterest. I know everyone loves Pinterest. Try Pinterest for these things. And I also can find you some recipes too, I'm sure. Okay, so whatever you choose, I want you to make sure you've got the basics down. Carbs, smart carbs in the right portions at each meal would be 1 cupped handful to 2 cupped handfuls, okay? The options are going to be ones that are high fiber, nutrient dense, slow digesting carbs, like vegetables, fruits, beans, potatoes, the ancient grains, and the oats, okay, that we've talked about today. You're just looking to go a little bit better, all right? I want you guys to try to keep it really simple, all right? Even if you think you're advanced, keeping it simple right now to just practice will be best. You want to get the right kind of carbs in the right kinds of portions first before trying to do something crazy and jump ahead. So the things to keep in mind are keep it simple, just a little bit better. Number 2, prepare. Anticipate what's going to happen on the weekend, all right? Yourself, your habits, all right? At this point, we are adults, and what will help you stay on track on the weekend? Or what will help you stay on track at work or at home? Because I have a lot of clients that sometimes the weekends is when they do best because they're not at work, it's different for everybody. So you, okay? Anticipate it. If you are not, you're using it as an excuse, honestly. It's like a cop-out. It was the weekend. Well, yes, but the weekend comes every 5 days. There's a weekend. We know what happens on the weekend. So you guys have control. You can have control over what you put in your mouth and how you prepare food for your family. And it's best to just start taking that control. And it can be fun. It doesn't, I'm not saying you can't have stuff. I'm saying the whole point of today is that you can. I just listed so much stuff that you can have, right? And there's more. There's always more. There's only so much I can share with you in our time together. But so if any of you have been in the jump start that we did in September, we talked about 5-minute habits. So you can, if you know that skill, the 5-minute habit skill about how to have a 5-minute action every day, you can do a 5-minute habit based on the smart carbs. All right. So give yourself, these quick wins and just take 5 minutes, come up with a plan that just takes 5 minutes every day to help you. It might be making your shopping list, then going to the store and buying, including the smart carbs in your cart. This day you're going to read a recipe. This day you're going to try making something. You don't have to make yourself nuts. Okay, guys? Do something tiny. Do something little. less than 5 minutes is like the goal. I mean, we check Facebook longer than 5 minutes. Like, right? We're here. If we're here, we can do this. I'm just trying to help you get to like that best self, that awesome feeling. So they always say like an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? So the carb category, people cut them out because the unhealthy carbs are so bad. They do terrible things to our bodies, and our immune system, and how our gut functions. And 70% of our immune system lives in our gut. And when we're eating the not smart carbs, it's really doing a lot of damage internally, which is why everyone feels like crap. They have no energy. They're lethargic. It's like, work out? Are you kidding? I just want to lay on the couch. I don't feel good. Like, you don't feel good because you're not fueling your body properly, and it makes sense. And so those are the things we're just trying to replace, okay? So, and you get to replace them with other carbs. So be consistent, guys. Try taking little baby steps today. I really hope this training was helpful for you. I'll try to be posting things all about carbs for the rest of the week in our group. So, and I'll try to include like all the pictures and stuff. If you have any more questions, I know I didn't really go through the comments today because I was trying to shorten our videos. So I will definitely go back after this and go through it all. If you're watching this on the replay, give me a hashtag replay. I will go through it whenever it alerts me when people post stuff. So so I'll go back and I'll answer your questions if you have questions, if you're watching on the replay too. So I love you all. I hope that you have the most fabulous Tuesday. I hope that you enjoyed our talk about carbs. I hope I didn't miss anything. And let me know what questions you still have, or if you need help like implementing any of this in your life, because that's really what I do, guys. I give you information, but what I do is I help you do it, right? Don't get stuck in content absorption mode, all right? We want to get information quickly and then do something with it. The doing something with it is what's going to get you the result, all right? Learning about something and not doing anything is not going to get you a different result. So I want you guys to go out and do something. It would be amazing if you guys share like what you're going to replace something with. Like, I'm going to replace regular pasta with one of the bean pastas, you know, or I'm going to, you know, instead of having bread with dinner tonight, I'm going to have like I'm going to have quinoa or like a wild rice or something. Like, let me know what you guys test out. Let me know what works. I know that this is a hot topic for everyone, so I think it would be really helpful if you guys start sharing with each other. Like, feel free to post in the group, not just on this video. Okay, that was so much. So I love you all, and I'll let you go and have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Mwah. Bye.